There it is. You're on, Jake.
Hi, folks, and welcome to the second episode of Silver and Gold Stacker and Collector podcast. Thanks again for listening, and hope you enjoy the show. Today, we're going to do something a little different from the first episode. We're going to start out by talking about some listener questions, and then we're going to continue to talk about storing and protecting your precious metals. And finally, to begin with, we're going to do some of the best eBay deals and deals we found for silver within the last couple days. That links will be provided for you on the YouTube page, right underneath this feed at the end of it. So, folks, if you want to wait around till the end, we'll make sure those links are posted up ASAP. Darren, do you want to start out with what the best deals are that you found this last couple days?
Absolutely. I didn't do my due diligence, so I'm still pulling it up right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now eBay's been seeing a lot of good deals. It's kind of nice about eBay. You can actually use your debit or credit card and not get hit with that extra fee that most companies charge for not paying with cash or check. I personally hate paying anything extra above spot that I absolutely have to. Johnny, what's your opinion of paying credit card fees when you can just send a check in?
I would rather send a check, but do it enough times and set up e-check.
Yeah, e-check's kind of nice, but I've heard people have had problems with the reliability of that.
I've never had problems. And even if I did, I would be more than happy to send a check and wait.
Yeah, I hate waiting like 3 weeks, but I get sometimes you have to do it. How about you, Jeremy? What do you think?
I think every purchase I've made has been off credit card. I pay my credit card off at the end of the month, so I ain't got to worry about interest, and I get 2% rewards on every purchase I make, so that kind of counterbalances all the fees if I do. But most of mine have purchases have been off eBay deals, so I haven't had to worry about it.
Yeah, eBay seems to be, as long as you're buying from one of the bigger companies, it's a pretty great way to get modern numismatics and bullion from.
Yeah,
Darren.
absolutely. I did find those those links. I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera feed over to screen share here so I can show you guys these right here. I'm going to sticky my camera on so you guys can watch me over here. You guys see all that? Can you guys see it?
Can you zoom in a little bit? It's kind of pixelated. Can't really make out exactly what they are.
Oh, too far. Okay. Too far. There we go. You piece of crap. Okay. So this one right here, special price, and some of these might have been terminated already. These were from this morning. This is an APMEX RMC coin, or round rather. 4 nines for $321 for a roll. That's only 79 cents over spot per round credit card price. I mean, obviously, you guys can see what Jake was talking about there a little bit ago about how these prices, you can really maximize your purchases with credit cards with these prices. So, and there's benefits too outside of the debit outside of the check transaction using your debit card. The benefits are the added line of security from your credit card company. If you have that security as well. So moving on here, here's another eBay and RCM. This is the Royal Canadian Mint, not to be confused with the Republic Metals Corporation. This is also 4.9 silver at a great price for $162.80. I love how they always tag us own a piece of eBay history. I don't care about eBay history. I don't care if it even says eBay on it. I'm all about the weight. And for being 4.9 silver, that's a deal right there at $162.80. Moving on down the list, here we go with another flash sale. This is RMC Republic Metals Corporation. 3 nines, not the 4 nines, at $318.60. Personally, myself, I'd rather spend the $1.40 or the $2.40 and get the 4.9 stuff with the APMEX. You have two recognizable names there. Technically more pure silver. But if this is your prerogative, if you already have some of these in your stacks, then you might as well go for it. Moving on here, trying to make these quick. Don't want to eat up a lot of time. We have these 2016 American Buffalo 1-ounce silver medallions by Silvertown. I have an embarrassing amount of SilverTowne products in my stack. They don't make terrible products. They're kind of, in my opinion, I don't want to say this derogatorily, but they're kind of the bottom of the barrel. There's some of the cheaper premiums out there, and actually, if you buy 5 or more of these from their YouTube, you're going to get an additional $5 off of each roll, lowering your premium. Doing quick math here, what is that? 50 cents, 25 cents around. So. Uh, Not a bad deal. And then here's something for people who like coins rather than rounds. This is a British Britannia coins on sale at $1.85 per coin over spot. Now remember, you've seen over $100 price increase on these. That is because these are sold in rolls/tubes of 25 versus a roll of 20, and these are also 3.9 bullion. And the final and last but not least one I have on the eBay deals, and this is for a monster box. If you're a big spender, it's under that $10,000 limit we talked about in the last podcast. But only 25 cents over spot price. Strict limit of 2. I couldn't even buy one, but hey, so there's that as well. And I think that's a heck of a price.
Are those Morgan rounds, those 1 ounce 999 rounds that they've sold? They're not really numismatics, but more just a round.
Yeah, they're not numismatic. These would be replica rounds. Now, I don't even know if they'd be replica. To be honest with you, they just have the Morgan design look on the face and the back, but the wording is a little different. They probably do that for copyright stuff and whatnot, but yeah.
So they don't get accused of counterfeiting or something.
Correct. And off the cuff here, I can pull up. This is a great tool as well for you guys. And by the way, all these things I've just posted up, or I just pulled up and discussed, are all in a post that I posted 14 hours ago in the main group. So some of you may have already seen this. And I'm going to actually go ahead and bump this post just because it's now more relative since I've gone through each one and showed you. But on to bigger and better things, I'm going to pull up another website that I use quite often to find good deals. And typically it doesn't involve eBay. These would be deals from several of the main dealerships. So now we're talking about paying with paper check, and we can talk about the e-check options again. But this website is called CompareSilverPrices.com, and this website isn't God. It isn't perfect. I've found better deals outside of this website, but it can give you kind of a baseline to go off of. So, for instance, here, here's Provident Metals with the 1 ounce round, and the green boxes are all the stuff that are the cheapest. So, you come up here, you see if you want Silver Eagles, but you want them cheap, Silver.com has them at $18.03 with free shipping after $3,000, and I don't pay to ship anything. So, I do believe Government still has their deal going on for $17.95. That's one of those for instances where you can still get a good deal out of here. So myself, I use this basically for the 10-ounce bars. This website shows me who's got the 10-ounce bars at the cheapest. You can click this right here at $159.60 over your $99 threshold for Provident Metals free shipping with a cash price of $159.60. You can have this thing delivered to your door. Myself, I have e-checks optional through this website, so I can get this bar right now for $159.60 or $15.96 per ounce. And the PayPal price isn't terrible either. Not really compared to some of the eBay prices as well. So that's pretty much my bit on deals this week. I plan on having a short little rundown of deals each and every week for you guys. So if nothing else, come check back for that.
All right, folks. And if you guys are not, some of our viewers may not be members of the Silver and Gold Collectors and Stackers group, you're going to want to join that group because these deals will be posted every week on a thread there, as well as other deals that we may not mention in the podcast. People are pretty good about posting their finds when they come across. So we're going to get going on the main topic of today, which is storing and protecting your precious metals. That's one of the biggest concerns for the stacker community as a whole, be it danger from people breaking into your house or danger from the government potentially confiscating metals. These are all potential worries for us stackers. So I found an article here on jmbullion.com titled conveniently "Storing and Protecting Precious Metals." And they talk about 4 different methods to go about this. And personally, I prefer a combination of the first 2. The first being secretive storage, basically hiding your stuff. And when you hide gold and silver, you want to be careful about that because there's obvious places people are going to look. Heat vents are a favorite, under your bed, anything that's obvious. So try to think outside the box a little bit when you're considering where to hide your precious metals. I suggest for sale actually, there's these fake cans. They look like, there's one that looks like tomatoes, another looks like peaches. If you figure out the weight of your metals in each can and then put some cloth around them, it's possible to make a can have the same weight that it's supposed to, but actually contain your precious metals and just be sitting in your pantry with all your other cans. Tell me the thief that's going to actually be able to find that. That would be pretty difficult. So that's one method.
Books.
What's that?
Get some fake books. They'll never look in there.
Yeah, that's another method. But if you have fake books, you damn well want to have a full library to hide them in. And if you do that, don't buy the fake ones that they sell at the stores. Just buy some books over at the Goodwill, cut out the middle of the pages, and stick them in with your already existing book collection. The fake ones that they sell at like Marshall's, I'm a book dealer. I could tell right away that they're fake. And anybody that's a criminal probably is looking for them on purpose to see what precious things people are hiding in them. So you have to be intelligent. Yeah, if a book dealer breaks into your house, you're done.
My favorite method is the Hunger Man TV dinner box. Shove it back in the freezer.
That's a real good idea because that's got some weight to it because the stuff is frozen, has liquid in it. That's a really good idea, Jeremy. But what it comes down to is, yes, you've hidden the stuff, but you're depending on the concealment to secure your assets. You're not depending on any built-in security beyond your lock on your front door. So that brings us to the second topic of how to protect your precious metals, which is safes. And my personal favorite is to basically find a place to hide your safe in your house. That's the system I think works best. What do you guys think? What's your favorite method for securing precious metals in your home? Not potentially. Why don't we go to Darren first?
Okay. All right, I'll start this. Well, my first advice I want to advise anybody looking at ways to store your stack, I first recommend diversity. Again, you're diversifying what you're putting into your stack. You're diversifying what you're buying into. But you should also diversify where you're storing it, where you're hiding it, and how you're hiding it. I don't have any more than probably 20% of my bullion at any one location at any one time. I move it. I put it different places. It's concealed very well. False bottoms, false outlets. In the attic, you can see down the rafters. We're gonna have to move that now, but down between the rafters, you can definitely conceal something down in between there and put a board over it, stuff like that. So that's my first thing to do for hiding it. I'll be the first to say that I do not trust banks. I do not keep anything in the bank. If there's a bank holiday, suddenly you can't get into your safety deposit box. However, like I said, my silver stack is definitely diversified of where it's stored at. I can't say for certain that there's even any on my property. I have really nice hiding places, multi-state hiding places, for instance. So outside of that, that's for kind of protecting where you're storing it. But I'm a pretty light sleeper, so my dogs bark at anything that goes bump in the night. They're the alarm system. I'm the protector. So if anybody were to walk into my house, obviously it would be a bad day for them. So.
All right, John. What are your opinions on how to hide your stack or how to secure it in a safe?
Me personally, I have about half mine locked up, concealed. Concealment's the thing. And probably about the other half I looked over is sitting on top of my bookshelf. And
You want to give your address out too, Johnny?
I said I will. I have before. Anybody who could, yeah. If somebody was to come in, they could find it and they could take it, but nobody's going to come in. And there's always somebody here. If you did come in, it would be a very awful time for you. If the situation was to change, I would consider concealing all of it in a safe. But I was talking to Jeremy about it. Most break-ins are in and out in about a minute and a half, and they're not going to carry away a 800-pound safe, and they're not going to look through your things for your box of bullion.
All right, Jeremy. What are your opinions on this topic?
Yeah, like John was saying, me and him was talking a little earlier, and mine is in a pretty large safe. I don't want to get personal about. We're trying to be educational to other people, so our situation might not be the same as the general public. So we're trying to give them a perspective. But I would recommend. I mean, you're just trying to hinder the worst case scenario, somebody breaking in your house. I would suggest a large safe. I mean, it's an investment. I mean, I have other stuff. I have guns, ammo, other important documents, stuff in my safe. I mean, it's just not bullion. I mean, a safe, a really good safe is a good investment. I mean, you hear people dropping $400 or $500 on a silver bar or something like that all the time. I mean, get you a good safe. I mean, you can get a good one for $300, $400, $500. I mean, it's a good investment. That's what I got. On top of that, I have an alarm. Everybody don't have alarm systems. I have an alarm. Most people who break in houses with an alarm, they are going to be so paranoid when that thing goes off. They're going to run in, grab what they can get, and get out. I live inside the city, so we have city cops, and they'll be here in no time. So they're not going to have time to even fool with my safe or wherever. But just I would say everybody who is going to be buying a bunch of bullion, a safe is, I would think, would be the best way to start out.
All right, folks. One final note on safes. There was an article that came out recently about some of the modern safes that you can buy at like Walmart or Target. A lot of them are coming from China, and they don't really have a lot of metal in them. They're mostly sheetrock because they're supposed to be more fireproof than thief-proof. So you want to be really careful when you're buying a safe to buy one that is not just sheetrock, because you can damn well make a sheetrock safe with then sheet metal on top. Buy something maybe that has a little age to it. A lot of locksmiths will sell safes. You can get them for probably about the same price as you pay for a new safe and get something that's really good. So do a little research before you buy a safe. Make sure you don't buy some cheap piece of junk from China. It's worth the investment. Do you guys have any notes on safes, where to buy them, or anything like that?
Yeah, not Walmart.
Yeah, not Walmart would be my advice. I like the Cabela gun safe myself. Those things, you go in there, you watch the videos on them. Those things are brick shit houses. So that's what I have. That's my favorite.
They're made by Liberty, so they're good.
Yeah, they're good shit.
All right, so let's move on. Next place that's potentially available to store your precious metals are banks, and I think we all have our issues with banks. For a while, when I was living in an apartment, I actually stored my stack in a bank safety deposit box. I chose a local bank that only had branches in my state, so it didn't have to deal with some of the federal regulations. Those two things are important if you're going to take the risk and keep your stuff at a bank. The only reason I did was because multiple people had access keys to my apartment through the maintenance guys in the complex, and I did not want to keep anything valuable around the place since I suspected their morality. All that to say, I don't like banks. I'll never put my stack back in a bank, and I think it's generally a bad idea. Recently, during the bank holidays in Greece and Cyprus, I believe it was Greece most recently, there was a news report out that people were denied access to their safety deposit boxes. So in a crisis, when you absolutely have to access your stack to sell some of it off to pay for food or gasoline or your mortgage or whatever, the last thing you need is to be denied access to it because the damn bank won't open its doors. Darren, what do you think on this topic?
I voiced my opinion a little bit ago of banks. I think I voiced it in the last podcast how I feel about banks. I'm definitely, how do I want to word this? I think banks have their purpose, and their purpose is to make money off of poor people. And I refuse to let somebody make money off of me. I refuse to let somebody take what I earn and make it what they earn. So I try to avoid the bank as much as possible. Personally, my preference is a credit union. They're less as evil because at least the money stays local. So I'm more inclined to use a credit union versus a bank. That's pretty much my 411 on banking and how I feel about it. So.
All right, Johnny, what do you think on this topic?
I have some things in a safe deposit box in my bank. I'm not at all concerned about it. If something bad happens and I can't get it, feel free to tell me told you so.
Well, you have plenty left in your stack, so it's not a big deal.
Right, it's definitely not all. I'm not all in there, and it can be useful. I mean, if you don't like it, I don't fault you for thinking that, but I'm not real concerned about it.
How about you, Jeremy? What are your opinions?
I personally don't have anything in safety deposit box. I know a lot of people who do. They probably, I mean, they're not dumb people by any means. I mean, I know some people that I deal with that have a lot of bullion, way, way, way more than I do, and I don't fault them for it, and I probably would too. I mean, I probably don't have enough to put them in a safety deposit box, but personally, I don't. I got all of mine in my house, and maybe in the future that'll be something I look into. But right now, that's not an option for me.
All right, and there's another final option that's available for us stackers to put our stack in. That's a precious metal depository. It's basically a safe or a vault that has no affiliation with the banking system. The only thing that I do like about this option is if you feel that the political climate in the U.S. may not be safe for people of your political opinion or religion, it may be a good idea to place some precious metals in Canada. Australia offers that service, and there's a few other countries such as Switzerland that are known to offer this service. It's not something that people with small amount of means should really be doing. It's something for very wealthy people. I personally don't do it because I figure if this country goes down the shithole, there's no point. I'm probably not going to be able to get out to access that bullion anyway.
Yep.
And I don't love the option. I don't love paying money to secure my precious metals every month. I don't think that's a good way to expand your wealth. But I do see for the ultra wealthy, people that have a couple $100,000 in silver and gold, it's not a bad thing to do. I definitely see it. Makes sense. Darren, what do you think about precious metals depositories?
Suppositories or depositories?
Depositories. Well, suppositories work if you're worried about hiding this stuff, but that's more like question one.
You got to keister it sometimes, guys.
Run up the
I guess I've read a little here and there on them. I like the idea of them, but again, if they're not open, it's inaccessible. It's if you can't get to it right now, then to me it serves no benefit. Now, I think at a certain level, again, if you have a certain amount, it becomes economical or even smart to keep some of it or most of it in something like that. But at a certain point, where I'm at with stacking, I'm not there yet. That's really all I got.
All right, John, what do you think about these depositories?
Well, first an observation, and I know a lot of people who wouldn't trust a bank as far as that gross cement truck, but they would trust a depository. And for me, that doesn't make any sense at all. And if I had that amount, I would, I don't know, maybe it'd be a conversation piece then, but in the meantime, I would just as soon bury it in my yard before I use the depository. So that's it. And like I said, it doesn't make any sense to me that these SHTF types abhor the banks, but they think the depository depository companies are all good. Why?
Yeah. I mean, COMEX, I guess, technically is considered a depository, or GLD, which is it's a stock market ETF where they buy 1/10 of an ounce of gold for each share. And rumor has it GLD doesn't actually have the bars to back up the shares they've issued.
I don't know of any default on delivery. Most people do not take delivery, but
Exactly.
I've heard of a default. But it does happen, and I've heard of not one default on delivery.
I have heard that when they did the inventory, they would say two different people own the same bar of gold. They give the same number out. So that makes me deeply suspicious of things like GLD. And if your depository is the same vault where some of these shenanigans are going on, who knows? Your stuff may be sent out, by quote unquote mistake to make good on a delivery. I have very little trust. What's that, John?
It's all Ponzi.
If we could do fractional reserve banking, what makes anybody think we won't do fractional reserve precious metals with warehouse receipts and ETFs?
Yeah, exactly.
Stands to reason.
Jeremy, what do you think about this option for precious metal storage?
Well, I'm not educated probably enough to even comment, but I think most of our viewers, this shouldn't even be an option. I mean, most people watching this video's probably got a few thousand ounces of bullion or less, so I don't think that's a viable option for small people like us.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with Jeremy's statement there. I mean, there's a lot of methods for storing your bullion. I really think taking personal responsibility of it, taking responsibility for the defense of your home and your wealth, is probably the best option for most of us. I mean, all of us here are gun owners, especially Darren, or I should say, obviously Darren. And it's there's Johnny's. I live in the People's Republic of Connecticut, so I'm careful to keep my stuff legal and not display it. But all that to say, I mean, personal responsibility is key when it comes to your life and how you're going to manage your wealth. And so paying a couple percent or even 0.5% a month in storage fees to a bullion company or to a bank for the safe deposit box rental is just not a very good option for most of us. Take the responsibility for your own actions. Take responsibility for your wealth and store the damn stuff.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So, yeah, all that leads us up to our listener questions. I believe Darren's got the lead on that. He consulted with a couple members of the Facebook group that you guys should all join if you haven't already, Silver and Gold Stackers. And, Darren, what have you got for us?
Well, to be honest with you, there haven't been too many questions coming across the board. By there haven't been too many, I mean there have been none.
Nobody seems to care.
Well, I mean, we've all been members or admins of this group for a while. What's pretty much the most common question we see asked? I see a lot of, what should I buy? How about you, Darren?
I see. That's a loaded question in itself. I see a lot of questions about minimizing your price over your premium over spot for small purchases, because a lot of people, when they jump in, they're not jumping in feet first. They're getting into it really, really slowly. And that's probably the biggest one I see is people questioning, well, where do I buy? What do I buy? How much is too much to pay over spot? Stuff like that. And I get a lot of questions about cells and how it all works, and really I feel like some of that is topic for another video or another podcast. But if you guys want to cover any of that, we definitely can. And I'd like to reach out to any of the viewers watching this right now to click the Q&A link in the upper right-hand corner of the video and submit a question. You can also submit them on the Facebook thread on Silver and Gold Stackers and Silver and Gold Freebay. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and post those now, and we'll get to them. But go back to Jake here.
All right, John, you were about to say something before. Sorry, I cut you off. What did you have in mind?
Stop asking about airtights. You have the same Google everything. Stop it now.
So, John, what are our airtights?
Yeah, I was actually in the earlier one. I was actually putting some maple privies I had in airtights that I just bought today, and they're just capsules, 2-piece capsules to store your things. A simple Google search for airtight will get you every possible thing you want. We do not need a thread on the group about it.
You mean
Yeah,
like 10 threads?
Yeah,
a
and
day.
you know, I'll pick up right there too. You know, that's one of the questions that we get a lot. We get a lot of basic questions, and then and the way it's said is there's no such thing as a stupid question, but
Yes,
you
There
know,
is.
but a lot of the stuff that gets asked, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody from asking a question. If it's a legitimate question, ask away. But a lot of the stuff that we get asked is easily found doing a Google search. So sometimes we'll jokingly comment www.google.com right into the
all
thread.
the time.
So definitely do your due diligence before you come with a question to try to research it out on your own if you can. Again, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from asking questions, but you'd be surprised how specific Google can be if you type in the wording on a coin or anything like that. So
Absolutely. So anyway, guys, I think that's about our time for this week. Remember, check out our Facebook group, Silver and Gold Stackers and Collectors. And I'm going to throw it to each of the hosts here, see if they have any final words they want to give. Darren, do you got anything you want to close the podcast with?
I really don't have anything. I do I do think there are some questions coming in though. Just give me 1 second here. Ken
We have
Hayward.
viewers.
Ken Hayward asked, "Is this the thread to ask questions on?" I said,
Yes,
"Go."
I would believe this is the thread to ask questions on.
I said, "Go for it." That was 2 minutes ago. I haven't seen anything yet. So Ken Hayward, I'm going to tag you in a response to that. If you're still listening, that is the thread for you to go ahead and comment on. Here it goes.
He said
Actually,
something.
interested to know thoughts about fake bars and cheap safes as diversion.
All right. I'll answer that first, and I'll throw it to each of you guys. I think it's a good idea. If you really think somebody's going to be breaking into your house, I'd spend the money to do it. But short of that, unless it's just a joke or something that makes you laugh a little bit, yeah, it's 50-50. Darren, what do you think?
I have one.
How about you, John?
I do not have one. I will never have one. I'm not interested.
All right, Jeremy.
Keep them out of your house. That's all.
Same for me. It's not an option for me.
All right. I mean, it's more a matter of personal choice.
Yeah.
There's a right answer for everybody, and there's really no wrong answer.
Right.
It's more a matter of how many ounces of silver could you have bought for the cost of those fake bars and that decoy safe. That's the only real question. If you got the safe for nothing at like a tag sale and the bars off Alibaba as a joke, I'm not in any position to judge.
Jake, wouldn't you be a little better off putting a flat screen TV somewhere because they're more likely to grab that and not going to look for your stash?
That's
Well-
true. And if you can get
well,
like a
yes.
broken flat screen, even better.
Well, yeah, you'd think that, but thieving. I'm telling you, thieves know a bit more than I think we give them credit for. You would think that, but if all it takes is the mailman to realize what you're receiving is what you're receiving. He tells his buddy tells his buddy, and or somebody, your trash man finds coin flips in the trash. He knows what those are from. He knows where those come from. He tells his buddy, who tells his buddy. I'm not trying to be the paranoid doom porn guy over here again, but it really. I'm from a small town, and news travels fast.
They're the worst.
They are the worst.
All right, so I think that pretty much answers the question. Next week, I was thinking about talking about kookaburras because that's kind of the coin a lot of us here like. What do you guys think about that as a topic for next week's
You just
podcast?
saw Jeremy perk up on that question. That's the man.
Okay. I do see another viewer just checked in just to make sure we have all the answers or all the questions answered.
Sure.
If you have any more questions, Ken, or the new viewer, whomever you may be, go ahead and post those right now. But I'm game for the Kookaburras. I think
Can we just make it an all Perth mint? That would be awesome.
All right, yeah, we can do a
think-
Perth Mint. I was thinking of dividing that into 2 episodes. But why don't we start with the Perth Mint, and if we don't get through, we'll save it for another episode if we don't finish the Perth Mint. That sounds like a great idea to me, Jeremy. All right, fellas, and people listening, thanks again for watching our second podcast of Silver and Gold Stackers. Feel free to check out our other videos. There's going to be plenty, and we'll try to have this podcast up every week at least once. Should be about a half hour long, so thanks again for listening, and have a great night. Bye.